Hi, welcome to the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal video. My name is Danny Milton. Today we're going to be talking about action camera best settings. So I'm filming all of this and I've been using the DJI Osmo Action 4 for about 2 months now since its release. And most of these settings are going to be through the Action 4, but some of these things you can carry over to the GoPro as well. So we're trying to dial in these settings as best as I can for you guys. That way you don't have to do any post-production on it and you can just post it straight to your social media or YouTube. That way you don't have to, have an expensive program like Premiere Pro or whatever Apple uses to kind of tweak those settings or tweak that video because it's, it's too dark, it's too light, the color's wrong or anything like that. That way we can just take the video straight out of the camera and post it. Sometimes you will have to do a little bit of editing to the video. It might be just a little bit too dark or a little bit too bright. As far as I've seen, I've been using the DJI app. The GoPro app works also pretty well, just for minor tweaks. Like I said, if it's a little too dark, a little too bright, or if you want to, drop the shadows just a tiny bit, you can do that in the GoPro app and the DJI app as well, and they both work pretty good. So just really quick, I want to give you guys a quick explanation. Now, best settings are very subjective. Best settings are also going to be very dependent on the weather conditions. If it's very bright like it is right now, these settings I'm going to give you are going to be working really well in those conditions. If it's an overcast day, it's a little bit gloomier, we might have to tweak those settings just a little bit. Or if you're in somewhere that has a lot of tree cover and you're going in and out of the shade, that's also another condition where we're going to have to tweak some of those settings as well. So I'm going to be showing you guys some side-by-side footage of me riding down some of my local trails here in Santiago Oaks. And there's 3 different things that we're going to be talking about today. The first video I'm going to be showing you is a comparison between adjusting the sharpness and the noise reduction on the A4. Now, you can do something similar like, to that in the GoPro. It's not exactly the same as it is in the A4. The A4, there's a sharpness setting and a noise reduction setting going from +2 all the way down to -2 in both of those. So you're gonna hear me every once in a while say base settings. My base settings are the settings that I rarely ever change on the camera. This is for the A4. I have 4K 24. I'm in rock steady. I usually have, if I have the camera on a chin mount or something, the field of view is set to ultra wide or ultra view. I think it's ultra wide. The wind reduction is always set to standard. I also have the audio set to stereo. And I have the ISO set as low as possible. Usually it's between 1 and 800. That's one of the settings here on the A4. We're running 4K 24, rock steady. Let's see, what else? Got the exposure set to auto. The white balance set to 5600. And what else? Can't remember what else. The main difference that we're looking at right now is having what I'd normally been running, the sharpness -1 and the noise reduction +1. That's what we're running right now. If it's different, I'll let you know. It might be +2, -2. So typically when I run the A4, I usually have the EV setting set to -0.7. You can do something similar in the GoPro. I used to run the GoPro in the -0.5. Basically what that's going to do is, like on a bright sunny day like this, you're going to have a lot of bright spots on the ground anytime bright spots anywhere. Usually it's on the ground on the trail. And once those spots, if they're too bright because you have the exposure setting up too high or even on auto, those are going to come out as kind of like white spots on the trail or very bright spots. And by setting that exposure value down or turning it down a little bit, it will kind of cut off that high, that high sunlight or high reflective surface and make the video look a little bit better. What we have is the exposure is -0.7 on the EV. Then we're going to compare it, same settings, with 0 EV setting. Couple little hikers. Yeah, just stand in the middle of everything. Woo. Getting pretty chunky. Dirt runs out. And the third set of videos I'm going to be showing you, it's side by side. I've got 3 side by side. They're all vertical video. Color settings are something I like to set manually, because if you are going down a trail and you're going in and out of shade, or there's dark spots on the trail, the color setting will, if you have it in auto, obviously it'll be fluctuating and it's not going to make your video look very good. So by setting it manually, you can keep that color even throughout the whole video. So having that color setting at different levels is very subjective. You can see that we're going from the images from left to right. The image on the far left is very yellow or bright. The one in the middle is kind of neutral, and the image on the far right is going to be very blue, which is going to make the video feel a little bit colder. So I'm very happy with this camera so far. I'm getting really great video out of it. It's super clear, super crisp. I love the colors out of this camera as well. The image is a lot better in my opinion than the A3. There's more sharpness, there's more, the video itself is just more clear and more vivid. There's also a lot more dynamic range in this video, meaning, from the brights to the darks. If you do, for some reason, record the video and it's a little bit too dark, it has that dynamic range where you can brighten it and you still save a lot of that detail in the trail and your outdoor experience. The wind reduction on this camera, it's better in one aspect compared to the other, comparing it directly to the A3. This camera has a little bit more vocal clarity. When I have it on the front of my helmet, you can hear my voice much clearer than you can on the A3. But as far as blocking out the wind noise of actually going down the trail, the A3 did a little bit better than the A4. So after doing all of this testing, these are going to be my settings that I'm going to have in this camera anytime I'm doing a field of view, from my chin mount on a bright sunny day like this. I've got my settings right here. 4K 24, I have the camera in rock steady. The sharpness is going to be +1. The noise reduction is going to be -1. I'm going to run the EV setting at -0.7. The ISO I have at between 1 to 6400. The white balance I'm going to run at 5600. The color is normal. Field of view is in the ultra wide, and the sound is stereo. I also do have the wind reduction turned on. On the 2 underneath the lens, I have a foam piece kind of taped right there to block out some of that wind noise. So thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Do all that fun stuff for me, please. Smash that like button, share, comment, definitely subscribe. If you have any other questions as far as this A4 goes, please leave those down in the comments below. I usually get back to you guys within, an hour to a couple of days. Once you are subscribed, make sure you click that bell notification. That way you do get notified when new videos come out. And last but not least, click on one of the boxes in the corners. One will take you to a rides playlist, another to products that I reviewed in the past, and you can click that logo in the other corner, the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal logo, to subscribe. Thanks a lot.